Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Henna, and I'm today presenting our escape room experience that we had with our university within our university pedagogy training with a colleague, Calypso Filippo. And first of all, what is an escape room? It's a live action game in which a team of players discover clues, solves puzzles, and accomplishes tasks to reach a goal, which usually is to escape a room within a specific time limit. And many of you have probably participated in some recreational escape rooms, but since they got very popular since 2010, also educational escape rooms have emerged. And these have emerged especially in higher education and specifically in the fields of health sciences and STEM subjects, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And since the COVID pandemic, also virtual escape rooms have growingly appeared. However, we saw this research gap in the context of university pedagogy. So there we didn't see any studies that reported use of escape rooms in university pedagogy training, and we tried to address this gap with our research. So why to use an educational escape room? Well, there are many theoretical connections, but maybe the most obvious connection comes from game-based learning, since escape rooms are intrinsically game-like activities. So they enable potential for active learning, immersive learning experiences, creativity, problem solving, self-regulation, fun, and social interaction, for example. And many benefits have been reported regarding escape rooms, such as promotion of learning outcomes, student engagement, cooperation, and content mastery. However, also some negative effects have been reported, such as negative feelings and stress. And even though there are many studies done using escape rooms, there is no conclusive evidence that using an escape room instead of some more traditional learning strategy would be more effective. However, we wanted to try this within our university pedagogy trainings. So we started our design process using this escape framework consisting of six steps, and now I'm highlighting some of these for you. So the intended learning outcomes for our escape room were that the participants would apply the principles of constructive alignment on course planning, and principle of constructive alignment is one of the core concepts of university pedagogy. So it refers to the principle that every part of the teaching process, such as the learning outcomes, teaching activities, learning activities, and the assessment of learning are all aligned and all encourage deep learning. And second goal in our escape room was that it would develop group work skills. And usually escape rooms are built around some certain theme or storyline. And our storyline was that university pedagogy teachers had lost a course curriculum and the participants would have to rebuild it from scratch in this very strict time limit. And about the puzzles, we had both virtual in this Moodle platform and physically in the room. And we also used artificial intelligence to, for example, creating riddles to some of the puzzles. Our escape room was located in the university facilities, so we used the basic stationery, but also some typical escape room equipment such as locks and invisible ink. Okay, a few words about the structure of our escape room. So we did it in English and we included a total of 13 puzzles. So 10 of these were sequential. So one needed to solve the previous one to get the clue to the next one and so on. And 3 puzzles were open, so they could be solved anytime during the escape room. And all these separate puzzles supported solving the actual meta puzzle, which was building the curriculum plan on the whiteboard. We also had this box of hints available if needed, and the completion time of the escape room was 45 minutes, but in total the whole situation was a bit longer since we had this introduction, the research part, which included filling this feedback questionnaire, and also a facilitated debrief discussion. We organized a total of 5 escape room sessions, and each of them had one team participating. So there were 3 to 6 people in one team, and we got 25 responses to our feedback questionnaire, which consisted of Likert scale items and also some open questions. And now a quick skim to the results. So about the quantitative items, maybe some highlights. So these are organized in the order of mean values. So the highest means were given to items such as considering the escape room fun, the initial guidance provided was enough, the escape room was well organized, whereas the lowest means were given to items such as considering the escape room too difficult or too stressful. Then if we move on to the qualitative items, so these were analyzed via content analysis, and now I have raised here 3 most important themes, so positive aspects, negative aspects, and perceived educational value. And the positive aspects that the participants raised in their answers were collaboration and group work, fun and amusement, tasks and organizations. For example, they liked that the tasks were relevant, and they liked the fact that they were both in a virtual form and in the physical form in the room. And also they reported some perceived learning gains in this positive aspect question. Then about the negative aspects, they also mentioned tasks and organization here. So they wished for example, for more difficult or more tasks. And one issue that was raised was that they weren't always sure how specifically they needed to answer those tasks. For example, if they had to order the intended learning outcomes to a specific order on the whiteboard. Also, they commented on group size and heterogeneity, for example. And the perceived educational value was mostly related to skills and knowledge development, and also perceived review and revision of what they had already learned during our studies. Then to the discussion. So based on our participant feedback, we succeeded in offering this fun, well-organized and immersive learning experience, which was perceived to contribute well to reviewing and applying the learned knowledge, which is in line with previous research. And our participants considered that this kind of game would have the best fit for basic level studies. However, the team size needs to be limited to guarantee active participation and equal engagement. So maybe 3 to 4 person would be optimal in our case, whereas, for example, 6 was too much. Possible shortcomings that we thought concerning our escape room was that a focus on different separate puzzles under this limited time may distract the attention from the core pedagogical content, and also that this time limit may encourage solving the escape room as quickly as possible instead of deeper pedagogical discussions about the curriculum plan. Also, we found it a bit difficult to choose the suitable topic for university pedagogy context because we have a very heterogeneous group who represent different disciplines, and also because we wanted to leave space for creativity, discussion, and reflection instead of one right solution. So that was kind of problematic in our escape room. And if you compare, for example, the escape rooms that have been conducted in medicine or health sciences, they are often compiled around patient cases or something like that. So we didn't have that kind of right solution kind of task in our escape room. To finish with some future directions, we thought that this kind of escape room could be used as part of formative assessment of our university pedagogy courses, or perhaps integrated with some other learning experience, such as flipped classroom approach. And if we were to use this regularly in our university pedagogy studies, we should consider virtual solutions that would be easily scalable for larger groups, for example. And ways to increase pedagogical discussion in our escape room could be, for example, to include peer observation and feedback, or some sort of presentation element where different teams could compare their solutions to the meta puzzle, which was the curriculum plan. Here are my references, and if you are interested, you can use that QR code to access our paper, which is open access. And I thank you for your attention.